Morning all, hope you are doing well. It's a bit wet and windy, isn't it? Down in England more than up here. We had it on Monday, but I think you've got it now. I've had a few messages over the last 24 hours, well, 12 hours really, about Karren Brady on Sky News. She's gone on there and she's wound up the West Ham fans. You might not be surprised, but I'm going to tell you how she wound them up and give you my opinion on her video. Before I do that though, you might want to go watch it yourself. I put a link in the description below so you can go watch it so you can get context, okay? Because that's quite important that because I'm going to only mention some things she says and there's bits around it I'm not going to mention because I don't think it's essential. But you might want to go get a feel of the interview yourself. So go have a look and then come back and watch this one, hopefully. So she went on there. She went on Sky News after it came out that West Ham were the 18th richest club. I imagine that's why she's got the phone call, because there was a little bit of a topic they could discuss. Now, I'm not going to talk about that, actually, because I don't think it's straightforward as West Ham were the 18th richest. That is based on income, and I think if you were to look at our expenditure, I'd imagine we'd also be in the top 20 for that. So I'm not going to go into that. I'm talking purely about Karren Brady's interview, because that's what we've got the messages about. So, I've wrote a few notes. I've come a little bit prepared for this one, because it annoyed me, actually. Her interview annoyed me that much. So I sat and watched it again and wrote it down. She only speaks about West Ham for a few minutes. Now, the first question she got asked, now credit to the interviewer here, actually, because the whole time he speaks to her about it, the questions are very straight, very direct. There's no fluff. And sometimes, now I've always thought Karren's a good speaker, a good natural speaker. She does well to sort of take the question on and reply without any emotion, which is important. She doesn't get carried away. Quite articulate, a bit politician answer sometimes, but that's what people do. But I thought a couple of times about the West Ham bit, I thought she was quite flustered. She looked a bit uncomfortable. Good on the man. Now, the first question was, why are we underperforming? Because obviously he referred to the fact that we're 18th on the richest list. And she said about how we've invested 200 million. I mean, that's not really what he was asking, but what does that mean? 200 million? 200 million when? In the last transfer window? The last two transfer windows? When? When are we invested 200 million? Over what period are you referring to? Now, I had a little look and it's over 3 seasons. This season and the last 2 seasons where you have to put them together to get over £200 million expenditure, which is fine, but she never said that. So for people watching that don't support West Ham might think she's referring to the summer window. I don't know. So anyway, there's a protest this Saturday, and a lot of people are protesting because of what some say lies, and what some and others, and what I say, this is how I label it, is misleading. Because that is a misleading comment, 200 million. But what? If you look into it, you can sort of pull it apart, which I've done. To give a little bit more context, over the 5 years, we've spent 300 million, but 150 million net spend. So she's not even referring to 200 million net spend because you've got to go back over 5 years to get that. I never bothered. I couldn't be bothered this morning to have a look. So that's that. And she basically said that they employed a Premier League winning manager, which is fine. Factually correct. Well done. I'll give you that one. And this is sort of part and parcel of running a football club. You're going to have ups and downs and whatever. Fine. Anyway, we'll move on. She basically then said that the interviewer basically said, like, about the money again, and she said that the money is one thing, but it's about delivering fans' expectations. I mean, no, there's a protest happening on Saturday. Now, not everybody's going. A lot of people are happy. You are meeting a lot of people's fans' expectations. That's fine. Well done. But you're also not meeting a lot of fans' expectations. I thought that comment, oh no, here we go. She's got the spade out and she's starting to dig. I thought, just stop digging now. Just stop digging. But she didn't. So the interviewer said, when you took over 10 years ago, you were 16th, you're now 17th. And she said, she referred to how there's tight points between us and the top half of the table or whatever, which again, statistically, true, fine, okay. And she said there's blips in football. I mean, again, true, but come on, it's 10 years. We're looking at a 10-year thing here. And the interviewer's right. We've moved one place in the league in 10 years' time, despite the fact that we're pulling in big sums of money. And I thought she looked a bit uncomfortable here. She looked like she couldn't really justify it, and she knew that it wasn't really good enough. She mentioned about how we're halfway through the season and that we've also been higher in the league and stuff. But bar, one season, which was Upton Park, we're not really broke into the top 10 on that, have we? I know we're finishing in the top 10 under Pellegrini and that, but It's nothing convincing, is it? So I thought that comment was very, like, I don't know how to word it, not disrespectful, but almost oblivious as to the lack of progression at the football club. And bearing in mind, if we were still at Upton Park, I think that would have been a fair comment. But we're not. We moved to move up, and we're not there. And she's trying to pan that off a little bit. And this is where it gets a bit worse. She's speaking about it takes time to build a football team. You've had 10 years. You haven't been there for 1 year. You haven't been there for 2 years. You've been there for a decade now. How much time do you need? What is the time? Because your chairman that you work for have told us 7 years we'll be in the Champions League. That was their plan. That was their ambition. So they obviously think 7 years is enough time to build. It's not. But you've had 10 years. So to say it takes time, you've had it. Okay, you've had that time. He then said to her, was it a mistake to move? Good man, I like this question. I liked it. This was good. Not, is there any regrets? Because then she could have said, oh, there's some regrets. There was no getting out of this. Was it a mistake to move? And of course she said no, absolutely not, something like that. And she went on to say that one of the reasons we're in the Premier League is because of the stadium. That is just obscene. Now, if we were in a championship club, moved to the Olympic Stadium and got promoted, yes. But we weren't. You bought us as a Premier League club. We left Upton Park as a Premier League club. There is absolutely no evidence to support what she just said there. Actually, there's evidence to completely pull apart what she just said. It makes no sense. David Gold, I'm not sure really bring him into this isn't his interview, but he said on Twitter once, and this really wound me up, he made on there's a correlation between attendances and success in football. And I just thought that was the most baffling thing I've ever read. Bournemouth are in the Premier League with a tiny stadium, but yet Sunderland are down in League One with one of the biggest stadiums. It's just completely stupid. And she went on about how we've got loads of season ticket holders, 54,000 season ticket holders, 60,000 attendance. We're trying to increase it to 62.5. Fine, all factually correct. That doesn't bother me. It's good. It's good. 54,000 season tickets at West Ham is fantastic. But then she started to talk about 35,000 families. Okay, fair enough, I don't know. She's obviously got the statistics. We don't have them. We're just going to take her word on that. But she said about how it's the cheapest season tickets and £99 for kids. Yeah, but not all kids, is it? You know, it's, again, when we moved, it was all kids that weren't in the 1966 seats. But that's been changing. That's been changing bit by bit. Now it's only kids in bands 4 and 5 of the stadium. So while it's, again, true what she said, I do find it slightly misleading. It came across to me that all kids were £99. And they're not, though. There's only a handful of them. I say a handful, there's quite a few thousand of them, but only in bands 4 and 5. And then she got asked about money in the transfer window. This transfer window we're in, he basically said about how much money we've got to spend or something. Or is there money to spend in January? She did not answer the question. She did. She said something, but she did not say yes or no. Her answer was just complete politician. My chairmen are trying very hard. The manager trying very hard. It's a difficult time to buy players. That's what you'd expect to get rolled out in the January transfer window. But the question was, will you spend money? And she did not say yes, and she did not say no either. And I just thought, here we go. That's a warning sign to me, as West Ham fans. I think that's a warning. There's not much. Because if there were, granted, I know people can say, well, she's not going to broadcast how much she's got. But she could have just said, yeah, there will be some money. And that's it. She didn't have to give a definitive exact number. But she didn't mind doing that, did she? Because earlier on, in it, she said there's 50,000 on the waiting list. She was happy to give an exact number for that. I mean, we all know that's not true. There's so much ways you can pull this apart. I'm just going to do this off the top of my head, okay? Because David Gold has told us a third of the people on the waiting list don't want season tickets. When you ring them up, they don't want them anymore, which is fine, that's acceptable. People's circumstances change. People join up because there was a big demand. They thought, oh, better get in now, so if in a few years I want one, I can get one. I completely get it. But since we've moved to the Olympic Stadium, that initial 50,000 season ticket holders or whatever it was, there's nearly 20,000 walked away. Every year, 5,000-6,000 don't renew, and 5,000-6,000 more come along, which is good. Big numbers if you want to look at it from that perspective. Or you could look at it in the perspective that nearly 20,000 fans have decided not to renew since we've moved in 2016. That's a lot of people. A lot of people. Now that 20,000 that have come in have then come off the waiting list. So unless the exact amount of people that have now were on the waiting list and got tickets have now joined the waiting list, I don't think so. Because of the negative press around the waiting list, I don't see there's that many people joining up anymore. They know they don't need to. But in the summer that's just passed, West Ham had a benefit for existing season ticket holders like me and like you. If you had the season ticket holder last season, you got this benefit as well. And that was you could purchase a season ticket plus 2 people. You could basically add someone else onto the season ticket list. You basically jump the queue. And how's that fair? If there is 50,000 people on the waiting list, now this is Karren's thing. There's 50,000 on it. If there is that, so why are we queue jumping? That's not fair on the people that paid £10 to join up. But anyway, I've left my main point to the end. Left it to the end. That was when she said we moved into the London. She basically said about we are in the Premier League because of the London Stadium. Now we know that's not true. We know it. Does that mean if we get relegated this season, it's because of the London Stadium? I don't think it is. But going by what she's just claimed, that means if we get relegated, she has to then blame the London Stadium. Because if it's the reason we're still in it, it's also going to be the reason we go out of it. That's how I take it anyway. That's not what she meant, but that's what she said. Anyway, that's my little video. I want to have a little rant about this. It's not really gone ranty. I've been calm. I watched this last night. I've calmed down a little bit. But let us know in the comments below what you think. The video is in the description. Go watch the video yourself. There's only about 2-3 minutes of kind of speaking about it. And then come back and leave your comments. Hope you enjoy this. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. And enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in a bit.